The college football experience, Appalachian State Mountaineers 2024 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with the promo code TCE SGPN and claim your first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. They just announced college football best ball over there. We dropped an episode about that. Check that out. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCE SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm's college football and NFL projections are now live. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Randy Cross. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
College football experience, Appalachian State Mountaineers 2024 season preview. Excited to talk about, perhaps, I am an ECU guy, but App State probably they're top 5. I went and caught a game last season at Wyoming, which they should have won, that they lost. And, I got married right there. Love Boone. I've been out to Kid Brewer.
Look at that.
I mean, look, I love this program. I love this stadium. I love everything up there. Everything that's great about college football. And excited to break it all down. Folks, youtube.com/the college experience as we continue on breaking down 134 college football teams with pretty much like an hour dedicated to every single team in the land. So jump on over there. Season's just around the corner. So let's do this damn thing. If you're wondering just who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Dan DeBase Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, tailless pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Let's go. Love me some App State Mountaineer football. Obviously, the classic play to beat Michigan. They probably should have beat Penn State at Penn State. Was up the whole game, lost in overtime. Same with Tennessee, but they did get it done against North Carolina and Chapel Hill, South Carolina and Columbia, Texas A&M and College Station. They love to fuck up a good team season. I am joined by my co-host. He is the host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. Some know him as Scumbagger Vance. Some know him as the Bet Detective. You got a name for today?
Yeah, we got in there. I believe it was Marked Cox. I have in there for old Marcus Cox.
Marked Cox. John Settle. Remember him? The old.
Yes, John Settle.
Oh, yeah. Dino Hackett. I can see that one. Give it up for CJ Sullivan. How are you, pal?
I was debating Dino Hackett, but yeah, Marcus Cox is a legendary for him. But thank you. Good. Finally, we're getting into the Sun Belt of the world here. Tighten that Sun Belt up. Enough of these big highfalutin. Let's get these schools that mean something. Let's go out to Boone.
Buddy, when you think about this, have you ever been to Boone?
No, I have not been to Boone. No.
Oh, we got to get you out there.
Yeah, I got to get out there. Appalachians up there, baby.
Buddy, I mean, look at this stadium here. Look at this fucking stadium.
God damn.
That's what I'm saying, buddy.
Yeah.
There is,
nice.
in my opinion, this is like a top 10 stadium to visit in college football. Not only do they passionately care about their football, as you saw when they had the Hail Mary game against Troy where they jumped in a fucking lake.
Yeah.
It's just a passionate. It's everything that's right about college football, and I would take this stadium over pretty much majority of the stadiums to be played, a football game in America. This is just phenomenal. It's been there for a long time too. We got to get you up there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful stadium. Looks like you can catch a football game then there. And if maybe the federal government's coming down on you, looks like you can just dive out in those woods and lay low for a year or two,
That's is that the story of Dino Hackett? Is that what happened?
Dino Hackett, yeah, he wanted to get off the grid, and you go up in those Appalachians, and they'll take care of you.
Yeah, I mean that stadium, man, is if you look, if you haven't been to many stadiums and you want to go, may I recommend that one being one of the first stops if you're going to go. And Boone, just a cool town, like I said, just classic college town. What do you make of this program, though, brother?
Oh, it's one of the winningest programs in college football. There's no doubt about it. Since the playoff era, they are actually the winningest program to not make the college football playoffs, which is a very close call, but which is, good and bad sign. But I mean, they are winners.
Oh, and with the 12-team playoff now, you got to think, and
that's what I'm saying. This has got to benefit the Mountaineers and teams like them, But when I think of the 12-team expanded playoffs, you think of someone like Appalachian State.
100%. Sean Clark, former App State offensive lineman. So, he doesn't want to go anywhere. Right? Coached under John L. Smith at Louisville, coached under Danny Hope at Purdue, Scott Satterfield and Eli Drinkwitz at App State. The OC is Frank Ponce, who's been with the program for a long time as well. Scott Sloan, the DC. You got to love the culture there in Boone. Yeah, you're right, though. This program, I would say, the Sun Belt doesn't get the attention. I think, a few years ago, the Sun Belt, like 5-10 years ago, the Sun Belt was not that great, but they have really ramped it up lately, adding teams and, JMU and Marshall and App State's, Georgia Southern's coming up from the FCS has really strengthened this conference. I remember going to like a Middle Tennessee, Idaho game in Murfreesboro where both teams were in the Sun Belt. Back then, the Sun Belt was not that good. Right. Now it is, I think, underrated. I think a lot of people think, Mountain West and AAC, which look, those are good conferences. I think the Mountain West is probably the top of the group of five, but I think Sun Belt is pretty slept on. And the winner of the Sun Belt, I think, should definitely be in the mix for that group of five bid every single year. So, folks, I want to tell you, you are listening to the College Football Experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Sports Gambling Podcast just launched their 32-team NFL preview series. All right, so jump over there. 32 episodes, 32 teams, and they're giving out a $500 Circa future for the listeners. So check it all out. Plus the EPL return. So make sure to check out the Soccer Gambling Podcast and the EPL Gambling Podcast for your footy fix. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast and the SGPN app, which is free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. Back talking App State football, and I just think this program now they won like 3 national championships in the FCS. Right around that time they beat Michigan. And then they jumped up to the FBS, but they hit the ground pretty much running. What is the best win? We do this with all the group of 5 programs there. App State has obviously won at Michigan since the turn of the century, won at North Carolina, won at South Carolina, won at A&M. I mean, Michigan and A&M ones were gigantic, right? Yeah.
All 4 of those massive. I mean, impressive for sure. 2 were massive.
And they should have beat Penn State and Tennessee, man. And Miami. They lost that last second at Miami. Yeah.
But Michigan, you go to the big house, you win in Michigan, and that's the most famous one, obviously, with the block field goal and everything about it, even though they didn't need it. Michigan, A&M was huge too, but definitely Michigan is the upset. They'll show that till the end of time. It's like Stanford band almost. Yeah.
Armani Edwards, the magic, the block kick. I would agree with you. The team a year ago.
But you were saying like from the FBS, when did they come up in 2014? Is it?
Yeah, I think right around then, 2014, and they've just been kicking ass every single year.
They haven't had a losing season yet since they've come up.
Well, and you gotta. That's what I'm saying. They're like Boise in a way. I see Filet-O-Fish saying the Mountain West sucks. I would push back on that one heavily, but they're like Boise, where they just kind of came out of nowhere. Right. Boise was like a community college in the 70s, and then all of a sudden, just left and right. Boise hasn't had a losing season since '97. You look at App State. I mean, since they've jumped up. I mean, when's the last time they had a losing season in general? It was 1993. Yeah. So even longer.
Wow.
Now granted, they were in the FCS a lot of those years when Boise was not. Oh no, 2013 they had a losing season when they were loading up.
Was the last one
when they were loading up for the FBS. I think they redshirted a bunch of players in anticipation for the FBS. But
now, who's that son of a bitch on their helmet? He looks like he'll get a lot of things canceled. He looks like he can get.
What, you can't be up in the mountains, enjoy a fucking pipe these days, huh?
He looks like he has some pipe bombs at abortion clinics. That fucking.
Yeah, look, he may, but if he doesn't use them, he's okay. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know, he's a lunatic, but he's our lunatic. That's what it is up in that neighborhood. They protect their own.
They gotta wear that helmet more often, man.
It's great.
They got to wear that helmet more often. Shout out to Brandon in the chat. He goes, new to the show. Big fan of you guys. Got me pumped for the season. Go Jackets. The hell with Georgia. There we go. Buzz, buzz, sting, sting. Let's go.
I like
that. App State though.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, 25th in the nation in scoring per game a season ago. Third best in the Sun Belt. 22nd in yards. Second best in the Sun Belt. 27th in passing. And 48th in rushing. That was fifth best in the Sun Belt. Where would you put, like, what stands out to you most? I would say
of the Appalachian State offensive statistics you got there. I mean, listen, their offense is what they are. They're great. You know, they ran the ball well. They found a gem with that quarterback, and they like to run the ball. So they have the loaded backfield, and the quarterback could move. So they were balanced, and he was he's gonna be even better this year as a senior. So
Joey Aguilar is who you're referring to, the quarterback who I believe came from like
Aguilar. Yeah, he won Sun Belt Newcomer of the Year last year.
Came in from California, one of these hot shot quarterbacks from California coming in.
Hot cha quarterbacks.
Yeah, the offense though pretty damn impressive. And you know what's crazy is they were starting Ryan Berger initially, and Aguilar came in and got 10 starts and never looked back after that. Yeah, I think the offense, you know, pretty good stats a season ago. They bring back 6 starters on the offensive side of the ball. Bet detective.
Yep,
Aguilar is one of them. And Kanye Roberts at the running back spot. They lost Nate Noel, who was a stud for them. Yes. DFS God. I've used him in DFS, but Kanye Roberts got 4 starts a season ago as a true freshman, and man, was he impressive as a true freshman. Now, I never worry about the running backs at Appalachian State because before Nate Noel, it was Dietrich Harrington. Before Harrington, it was Cameron Peoples and Marcus. Was it Marcus Houston? Marcus Williams, I think. They always got guys. It's back to John Settle. You know what I mean? In the 80s, they always got guys at the running back spot. Love the wideouts, Caden Robinson and Christian Horn coming back, as well as Eli Wilson at the tight end spot.
Yeah, Caden Robinson's great.
Yeah, and Eli Wilson was second team all Sun Belt a year ago. A bit concerned about the offensive line though, because you're only bringing back 1 on the offensive line. Now they normally have that culture.
All right.
Kicker Michael.
They're a well coached offensive line, I'd say, though. You know,
they are. Well, that's Sean Clark's thing. He was a former offensive lineman. You're gonna play. If you're gonna strap up for Appalachian State, you're not gonna give no pussy effort right there. Let me tell you that right now.
And I see that kicker you have down there, Michael Hughes. He's a second team All-American.
That's what I'm saying. It's good for close game effect, right?
Knows that elevation up there in the App State. Now, of course, when we talk about the O line, of course, they have an ultimate tragic magic with Jack Murphy passing away recently, and he was an all but Sun Belt toe tackle. Not to talk grim about how you replace it, but I mean that's a big thing to fill, off and on the field, but terrible situation.
Yeah, rest in peace and much love and condolences to his family there, because that is horrible. And Now the question is, and that in a way, man, that could make this season special. They're playing for a bigger,
thoughts and prayers. But when we get to the gambling aspect, I mean, like we said, we've handicapped this before. I mean, that's a wave we can ride to the over, my friends.
Yeah, I mean, we can put that in that guy's pipe and smoke it, right? I over smash after that, but
put that in a pipe and smoke it and spread the ashes. That's what we. Like
there we go. Look, 6 starters back. I tend to think. Do you think the offense will be better? I know. Let's talk about the portal for a second because I'm going to build a case that they might be better. Yes, they lost Ryan Berger. Quarterback depth is interesting because you wonder. Billy Wiles comes in from Southern Miss as the backup.
Yeah,
but Ryan Berger's off to the Flamin' Libs of Liberty, who are on the schedule, by the way. Nate Noel, obviously, stud for them.
Yeah, Nate Noel's a big. Yeah. Nate Noel's a big loss, but like you said, they replace backs.
Milan Tucker, I thought a little bit of a hit there going to FAU.
Yeah, not the best.
Yeah. But that's what they lose on the offensive side of the ball. YouTube.com/@thecollegeexperience. You see these beautiful slides, but the additions they brought in, William Foles coming in from Louisville, Xavier Short from South Carolina. I don't know that those guys will start, but I can tell you this: I do expect some of these transfers to start on the O line. They went out and brought in guys from Louisville, Auburn, Florida State, USC, and Valdosta State. Shout out to rest in peace while we're doing this to the great Mike Leach, who coached at Valdosta State for a long time. But yeah, Schrader from Florida State's a day one starter. And I think some of the other guys are pushing for that spot. We'll see what happens. You think the offense will be better in 2024 than they were in 2023?
Well, I'd like that improvement with the offensive line, through the portal. They did average 4.5 yards a carry, so they need to maintain that. They were still, pretty decent. Like you said, the running backs will be more of a committee. If besides Kanye Roberts, they have Anderson Castle and Marco Haywood. I mean, I think it'll be better just because of Joey Aguilar in his senior year getting better and getting the full season. I know 10 games is the majority of it, but getting a full season, he's the one that makes everything run there. So they have enough talent all around, and we'll get to the defense as well, but just they have enough offensive talent to do what they always do. And there's no reason why they shouldn't be in a Sun Belt title game for the 4th out of the last 6 years.
Woo, there we go. Bold. Folks, I want to tell you, the College Football Experience App State season preview. It's brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. If you go 8-0, you can win 325 times your entry, or play fantasy football the right way with Best Ball. Best Ball Mania is live with $15 million in prizes. And Underdog just launched their season-long college football projections, higher and lower for your favorite college football players. First off, we just dropped an episode on with the Best Ball draft over at Underdog Fantasy. So hop on over there and check out that episode. You can catch that whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on the audio side of the podcast. But I'm going to load up right now some players. One of the ones that caught my eye, they have these season-long player props that I just think are absolutely fantastic. Bet Detective. I'm going to ask you a couple of these here if I could quickly slide into this. Be nice if I use the correct email. But you got
one of those burner accounts like you do on Reddit there when you get behind the wife's account and start razzling
you know what you got to do. You know what you got to do here. I don't know. Can I get into this thing? We don't recognize this email. Oh, maybe I am running that.
I love it.
You can't spell Gmail with 2 L's.
I mean, you're getting sanctioned left and right. Pop it in your old AOL account, some burners.
But now I'm in just like that. They let the kid in.
Let's go.
Let me tell you though, buddy, some season-long college football stuff. Have you seen this? I haven't seen this at a lot of places where you can actually bet the season long.
Amazing.
Like for me, we saw the other day that, or I don't know if you caught this, but if so, Notre Dame's left tackle out for the season. All right.
No,
they had 2 tackles taken in the first 2 rounds of the draft. And that makes me think when you load up these stats, makes me think that we should take the under on O'Reilly Leonard, passing yards for the season.
Wow.
Even though Notre Dame does have a cakewalk of a schedule. I mean, how much depth do they have on the O line here? Where is this? I saw this yesterday. I read. Oh, here we go. Lower than 2,500 and a half passing yards for the season. First off, he's coming off an injury. He could get dinged up at any point. I like taking the lower on O'Reilly Leonard there on the passing yards for the season. And you got to take at least 2 at Underdog Fantasy. You can go all the way up to 5 or 6. I like LaQuint Allen, the running back for Syracuse. Fran Brown comes in from Georgia. And I think they're going to, re-emphasize running the rock there in upstate New York. So I like higher than 875 and a half rushing yards for LaQuint Allen there with the Syracuse Orangemen. What do you think about those?
I love him. Can you toss in a little Aronde Gatson in there while I'm saying he's got some
stud.
Aronde Gatson Jr. not related. I like when I do that.
I do like Aronde Gatson. I think watch out if you're best ball once again, load up on the Syracuse offense. I think will fly a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. 550 and a half receiving yards. That seems pretty low.
Yeah. Let's go. Take the high on that. He's coming off the injury, but he got injured like week 1, so he's been healthy for a while.
He's ready to roll. He's ready. He's gonna have a big year, I think.
I think I'm with you. They're bringing Kyle Honda McCord. So that's from McCord, baby. Let's go. Hop on over there. Once again, underdogfantasy.com, promo code TCE SGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code TCE SGPN. All right, we are back talking Mountain West. No, the chat is saying Mountain West.
We're talking Mountaineers. We're talking
Mountaineers.
Appalachian State Mountaineers. We're talking the Apps. We're talking Boone. We're talking Sun Belt Conference. We're talking App State, baby.
And App State lost to Wyoming last year. Filet-O-Fish.
They did.
I was at that game. So yeah, no slander for the Mountain West here. All right, we love the Sun Belt though. Defensively, this is where things are a little interesting here.
Right.
65th in scoring defense, 63rd in yards, 29th in pass defense, 110th in rushing. See, the App State that I've known over the years has never been that bad at rush defense.
Right.
That is shocking to me. They were 3rd worst in the Sun Belt. And that is where I'd say I'm most concerned moving forward. Can they fix that? They went out in the portal. Well, first off, they have 6 starters back and punter Mitchell Lake, but two of 3 on the D line, Sean Collins and Marcus Clark, 2 linebackers with Sullivan and with old Sullivan. We got a Sullivan.
Old Sullivan Jr., huh? All right. I'll root for Kit Sullivan.
Yeah. Caden Sullivan there, Nate Johnson and 2 back in the secondary, but
Nate Johnson's our stud. He's probably the best. I mean, he might be the best player on their team for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a rising star. 6'5". He's a monster. I love Nate Johnson.
I like how you didn't say Caden Sullivan's the best guy on the team. I figured that was a no-brainer right there. Slam dunk.
Caden Sullivan will be the best pro, of course, not in the field of football, but just wherever the hell he goes, Caden Sullivan. But you put a Sullivan up in the mountains, who knows what you're going to come out of there. So he's a project.
Now they lost a couple guys in the portal, but now once again, Donovan Spellman to Biff Poggi in Charlotte. Biff Poggi came in there. Biff Poggi's probably the guy that looks closest to this guy on the.
He does. More like Biff Poachy. He's poaching all these fucking good players on the team.
Oh yeah. And this Tennessee Tech team just coming in, and the FCS say, "We're take your corners, all right? We want these corners." But a lot of FCS guys, so I don't really worry about that. But punter Connor Maynard, he made a big decision in life. Wow. As much as I love App State,
he came on down the mountain.
He made that decision to believe. What did Deion say? Do you believe? All right.
Deion said a lot of things. Press conference.
They didn't lose that much besides Maynard. Obviously, Maynard was a straight shooter with upper management written all over him. But what they brought in though, Good old Nick Campbell from NC State, the Pussy Pack. All right, bringing him in. I will say this about NC State: their D line. They normally got some dogs on the D line. Joshua Donald coming in from Troy. Coaching change. Go out to one of the better teams in the Sun Belt. Steal one of their studs. And then Seth Robertson coming in from that's their arch rivals. Coming in from Georgia Southern, deeper than hate rivalry here.
Wow.
I mean, what's going on in our society, Bet Detective? When you got, I mean,
especially in that part of the country. I mean, that's where that's where you go up in those mountains. You don't come back when you cross lines like that.
For sure. If you're up there, watch when Southern comes next year. Him. You gotta get the 12 gauge. Elijah McCantos coming in from the Illini. Brian Walters had them as the top 10 defense 2 years ago. Jason Chambers from North Carolina Central. Varian Cole from North Carolina A&T, a couple FCS guys, and then Miles Farmer, which is a very good get. This is a guy that had 16 starts, and 130 tackles, 4 interceptions. This is a nice get. He started at some at Syracuse and Nebraska. I think that's a huge get for this defense, along with those D line gets. I'm going to say this defense is vastly improved. The question is the run defense though. Right. I think if the run defense really improves, I think there's a shot that they're playing in the 12 team invitational there. How do you see this defense? You think it's better? You think it's improved? You think it's going to be the same? What do you think?
I think it'd be roughly the same, but like they got to play better. Like you said, like they just have to stop the run. That's what it is. Their secondary is great. They led the league. They led some most interceptions. They had 15 interceptions. So they turn you over. They only let up 200 yards a game through the air. But a lot of those because they ran the ball. Now, when they did stop the run, and they didn't even have to stop the run, they just have to be respectable at it. Yeah. You know, when they I think the stat was when they allowed 5.6 yards a carry or less, they were 8-1. When they forced 2 turnovers or more a game, they were 8-0. Other than that, they were 1-5 when they didn't. So you stop the run, that's the recipe for success. You turn them over, they're going to win every time when they go out there. But if not, if they, like you said, it's kind of uncharacteristic. So I do think it's fixable. Their D line are not huge up front, but they got some dogs out there.
Well, let's take a look at this, win total. Okay. It's set at 8. Now the action on that is -130 to the over, +110 to the under. So Vegas is saying 9-3, slight lean to 9-3, but 8-4 is what they're thinking.
All right.
But 9-3 more likely than 7-5. They are +275 to win the Sun Belt Championship. That's the odds-on favorite to win the Sun Belt Championship, and they're +1,000 to make the 12-team playoff, +100,000 there to win the national championship. You surprised by that number? You thought it'd be higher? You thought it'd be lower?
It's a good number. I would figure 8.5 if they're really good because people like to bet the over anyway. I think eight's a solid number to bet just without even diving deep into the schedule because it takes 7 wins for you to lose the bet. You know, we might not win it. A push kind of seems likely just generally looking at it. Sun Belt, like I said, I think there's no way, but there's no good reason why they shouldn't be in a Sun Belt championship game. So if you can grab +275, get yourself a nice position there. But like we said too, this is the year the playoffs expanding. This is for teams like this. So I wouldn't even mind grabbing 10 to 1 to make the playoffs.
Hell yeah. Let's go game by game on the schedule. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the App State season preview is brought to you by Rhythm. Football season's here, and college football and NFL models are now live on Rhythm. Create your own winning betting model, or let Rhythm do the heavy lifting for you. You decide what stats are the most important to you, and then Rhythm will build a custom model around that. Or you sit back, crack a cold one, and let Rhythm do everything for you. All right, all that heavy lifting. Rhythm uses AI projections from MIT data scientists and quants. Rhythm already has you covered for NFL Week 1 and college football Week 0. I like those yellow jackets that we were just talking about in the chat with Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon.
Give me those yellow jackets +13 against Florida State there in Dublin, Ireland. Buzz, sting. Get on over there. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We're also brought to you by Circa Survivor and Circa Millions. Yes, the Circa in Las Vegas is about the greatest place ever. Well, I mean, there's multiple Circas, but the one in Vegas, Stadium Swim. Oh my God. If you haven't been, get out there. Circa Sports is back with Circa Survivor and Circa Millions, giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. If you don't have a trip booked for Las Vegas yet before football season, may I recommend the Ultimate Contest Weekend. It's a great time to go out. You can hang with the guys from the Sports Gambling Podcast, Stacking the Money Green and Real Money Kramer, but you can also hang with the Bet Detective, aka Dino Hackett here. And what do you got going on? You're going to be out there.
I'll be out there. Yeah, I'll be out there with the boys, starting up in chapter 13 of the road to 10 million as we sign up for the Circa contest with my winnings from the NBA and NHL parlay. And if you come out there to Las Vegas to see Sean Kramer and you see myself, you see the Bet Detective, you give me a holler and I will get you in the new road to 10 million. Make a little cameo appearance in there. Make you a viral star.
Well, I don't get.
Lou Holtz got something to say about that. So get on over there, hang out with the Bet Detective. What a great time to go out. Look, that's and look, you can enjoy some of the open bar events there too at the greatest sports book in the world. That is August 22nd through August 24th. Use that promo code SGP15 to save you 15% off your hotel room. Thank us later for that weekend only though. Look, sign up in person at Circa Sports between now and September 7th. And use a proxy to play from anywhere. We even have a deal with the proxy. Go to proxy.footballcontest.com to save you $50 with the promo code SGP. So hop on over there and do that. All right, back talking App State football. And look, folks, another thing is if you're a big fan of Kid Brewer Stadium or just, you've seen the photos and you want to go check them out, check out the Stadium Heads podcast. Myself and college football campus tour, aka Michael Barker. We basically do a deep dive on all the college football stadiums and why, which stadiums are the best, which ones you should go to, the history of college football and just the history of the sport. You want to jump on over there and subscribe to the Stadium Heads podcast. But I encourage you to watch it too, because Michael's been to every single stadium and I've been to a good chunk, but nothing like Michael.
No, he's a black belt when it comes to going to stadiums. He's been to all of them. He's been to the places where you can't even see into the stadiums.
Oh yeah. He knows the spots. All right. Yeah, if you're going to a game, you just go check it out. We're going to dive through the history. We've already talked about Kid Brewer. We gave Kid Brewer their flowers. Go check out the Stadium Heads podcast. You will dig it. The schedule, 8 wins, Bet Detective. Okay. I can tell you one thing I love. You got all these suits trying to destroy college football, buddy. One thing I love is an old rivalry game. East Tennessee State. They used to be in the SoCon together. Johnson City's right up the road. Johnson City to Boone. Well, goddamn it, I love it. All right. I will take App State to win this game, but just the fact it's on the schedule has old Pick Dundee smiling in the land down under.
Yeah, that's a great game. It's a great little rivalry. Like you said, you got to keep these things intact. We got to have some kind of fabric of what it means to be a goddamn American. And this is one of those things. Stop ripping it out of our souls. So anyway, yeah, Appalachian State gets the win, but it'll be a fun little bloodbath down there.
Oh yeah. Week 2, and this is a great. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
You know who Clemson plays week 1?
I already like where this is going. I like where Dundee's going. He's dialing up this upset. I like it. Who do they play week 1?
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh boy, fuck them dogs, as Brandon would say.
It's a quote unquote neutral site, but it's in Hotlanta, so it's I think a slight lean to the Georgia crowd there. But
I'd say Georgia might have a few supporters.
My point is though, is if they pull off the upset, which last time when Georgia won the Natty a couple of years ago,
right?
Clemson and Georgia to start the season happened that year. That was a 3-3 game and a pick 6 by Georgia won the game. Yes. So I am intrigued by that match. And my point is though, is if Clemson does knock off what everyone is saying is the top team in the nation.
All right. Let down.
Oh, they're going to lose then. Like if they win that game against Georgia, they are going to lose to App State. Now, if they lose to Georgia, that changes everything. But I am super intrigued because I think App State's going to give them a game, man, regardless of the outcome week 1.
Win or loss to Georgia, App State's coming to play. That's for sure. and they're anytime they play those big schools, I mean, their whole system's a tough matchup. They're feisty. That's why that's how they pulled up those upsets that you brought up there to those big schools. The way they spread it around. But yeah, no, I'll give Clemson the win because I don't think they'll beat Georgia. But I like that. I like that theory, and I think they can beat Georgia. I'm not saying they can't beat Georgia, especially early on. Before Georgia finds their groove sometimes a lot. But they're them and Ohio State are clearly better than anybody. But it's that being said, if Clemson does pull off that upset, I like App State's chances. But I don't.
You know what I don't like their chances on though.
I see, and I'm looking at the schedule here. The Canva, the graphics here. You and your own Picks Dundee ranking of strength of schedule, and I'm shocked that you have ECU behind Clemson. But these are 1-2 back to back.
They are 1-2 back to back because they are going to be the most lit environments on this whole goddamn schedule. All right. So, and I also think as an ECU fan, but remember, folks, last season ECU was beating App State in the third quarter. There, the wheels came off, but you ain't winning in fucking Greenville. You ain't won in Greenville since the fucking 50s. All right, it ain't happening. So, if I may, and I love App State.
Yep.
But if I may. So I got a 1-2 to start out the season.
Tough start for our Mountaineers. But that's the way it pans out. I can see, first of all, it's going to be a tough game following Clemson, back-to-back road games. ECU will be improved. They snagged their punter, revenge game for the punter.
He's got intel.
Yep, he's got intel. Those App States, he knows how they do that all elevation. All right, I'll go with you. Let's go. ECU, they're 1-2. Well, you have them 2-1 though. Clemson is Georgia. Right? You haven't beaten Clemson or not?
No, I mean if Clemson beats Georgia, okay. I do think App State is a live dog. If not, I do think though it's an intriguing game. Like I do expect them to give them a game regardless of the outcome. But I think you got to put, when you're going through this exercise, you got to say Clemson wins that game, much like you got to say East Carolina wins that game.
Mm-hmm. Can't I have no doubt.
I mean, let me just try to. You seem like I'm just over here, just complete homer. Let me just remind you of what I'm talking about here.
Please do refresh the audience at home what we're talking about.
So App State has won 2 in a row against ECU. One of them was in the Charlotte season opener. Mm-hmm. After that mole Scotty Montgomery ruined the program, right? But my point that I'm trying to make is that they haven't won at Dowdy Ficklin, ECU's home crowd, which is fantastic. If you don't know, folks, let me see the last time they did actually win in Greenville. You got to go back to
55, as we said earlier, but no, it's
59.
59. Look at that.
Yeah, they won 28-0 in 59. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a legit home advantage there, just like Boone is.
When was the last time they played there?
That was. Let me go back to the sheet. It was, I feel like, in the Ruffin McNeil, Lincoln Riley era. 2012, ECU beat them 35-13. Okay. 2009, ECU beat them. And then you got to go back to 79, 78, all 77, right, 76, 73, 72, 62, all that stuff. But it ain't happening, buddy. You're not coming into Dowdy Fick and getting that dub. Write it. They will beat South Alabama though on the 19th because Major Applewhite taking over there, and it's got to take a little bit of time. You can't just walk into Kid Brewer, get that dub. 2-2. How about you?
Yep, for sure.
And then the big one.
And they're going to need that one, and it's a nice tune-up. There's no, especially after back-to-back road losses, they can't look ahead because the big one is coming up here. You're right.
Jamie Chadwell, who used to be at Coastal Carolina, gave App State some games. Now he's the head coach of the Flamin' Libs of Liberty. Coming into Kid Brewer. I lean App State here, but that game is awesome. That game, like, honestly, this is why the 12-team playoff is fantastic. Because before you're thinking, okay, what's a New Year's Six? No, I don't even think your lay college football fan even understood what a New Year's Six berth meant or was. Like, now you're like, man, that game at ECU and the Liberty game are fucking gigantic games for App State to get the auto bid, or not the auto bid, but the group of 5 bid to the playoff. Because let me tell you this, if they lose to ECU and say ECU does not even make an appearance in the AAC championship or something, then that's going to really hurt the Sun Belt's chances of getting that spot. Same with Liberty. Liberty obviously, had a great season last year in Chadwell's first season before getting smacked by Oregon in the, what was it? The Fiesta Bowl. I think App State's going to beat them because it's in Boone. I know that I think next year's a return game, and that's when I'd probably take Liberty. I'll take App State to beat the Flamin' Libs here. What are you doing here?
Yeah, fuck Liberty. It's a fake school. It's just fucking absolutely insane that this is being. I mean, like that. Talk about sport washing. I mean, Jesus Christ, this is absolutely crazy. But they're very good, and they might go undefeated again this year. But at the same time, this is going to be a monster game, as Kevin says here, to be the highest rated G5 game this season.
What did Falwell hire you to fuck his wife?
The pool boy come over. Oh my God, they're disgusting people. But that being said, they built themselves a hell of a program right there. They don't give a shit about anything. But I lean App State in this revenge at home, like you said. I mean, it's just gonna be a massive game.
Yeah, and that puts us at 3-2, and then I think this is a sneaky spot here because if they beat Liberty, who will be in the top 25, a trip to Huntington, West Virginia.
Yeah, never good for a letdown at Marshall.
I think they lost the last time they went there. I am a little. I'll say this about this year's schedule: the road spots. You get your ECU on the road, Clemson on the road, Georgia Southern's your rival. They're on the road. Coastal's a rival too. They're on the road, and then Marshall and Louisiana. Like every single road spot is against teams projected to be bowl teams. So,
their road games are tough for sure.
That's what I'm saying. I got them spluttering here in Huntington.
Yeah, this is one to spot it in. They could lose them both. They're back-to-back road games here, but I think they will split one. So I'll have them beating Marshall, maybe losing Louisiana, or vice versa. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I got it vice versa. I got them. They rebound. They win at Cajun Field there in Louisiana. But
you're right. It makes more sense to have the letdown spot of Marshall after the big Liberty game. So all right, I'll go with you on that.
So that will put us at what? We're sitting there at what, 4-3 heading into the first bye week.
4-3.
Remember that win total is 8. They are home to Georgia State. I believe that's a Thursday night game. Georgia State's coach, just former App State guy, Sean Elliott, just left mid-spring practice. He's like, you know what, I'm out of here. Take his tight end position down in Columbia, South Carolina. So I got them putting it on Georgia State and really putting it on Old Dominion back-to-back games. And then in a game that I may be at, down there on that teal turf, I don't know what to make of Coastal without Grayson McCall and Tim Beck's second year, another year removed from Jamie Chadwell. I will lean App State here, but it ain't by much. These games have been close. Coastal beat their ass last year. What are you doing here?
They're going to be coming in pretty well, rested after 2 nice, easier home games, and they will be focused on it. And they have a bye right after this. So, focus should not be a problem, but this is tough. At Coastal Carolina, I don't care.
Thursday night too. This place will be fucking buzzing.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care how much of a downgrade they are. That's just never an easy place to play. But yeah, you know what? Let's go Thursday night just because it's set up as perfect as you can be for a Thursday night road spot at Coastal Carolina. So okay, I'll take Appalachian State to win this.
I like it too, even though the guy that it's called Brooks Stadium down there in Conway, because the guy who donated a shit ton of money to that program happens to be the guy that started Hooters, the fine establishment you can get out there too. They got a bye week on November 14th, and they're home to James Madison, and I think I will be at this game perhaps too.
Wow.
Down there at Kid Brewer. So you go into if you're going to the Coastal game, I'm on the fence. It depends how ECU's season's going. But the JMU game, it's looking pretty likely that I'm going to be at this game.
Nice. Are you moving back to Carolina? What's going on? Are you taking a whole sabbatical there in November?
Yeah, I think it might be that bad to jump into the East Coast a little bit.
All right. Yeah, got to let the little white tiger lion roam around the East Coast.
Can't have him here. Can't have him here. You take him for a stroll.
That's for damn
Got
sure.
some homeless guy.
Yeah, God.
You know, doing God knows what to another homeless guy. Sexual acts. You know what I mean? On the streets.
All right, take him up in the Appalachians where he'll be safe up there in the fucking goddamn hillbillies out there, hill people. Now I understand. Why we'll go to all those games. They'll rock James Madison, and then
this is the tricky one here, man.
Now we got a problem.
Well, here's the thing though. Clay Helton could be fired if Georgia Southern's season does not go well. He could be fired here.
Okay,
but this is a rivalry game.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this between JMU and Georgia Southern, they do lose one more. JMU. Here's another thing. If Bob Chesney, I think is a very good coach. If you watched Holy Cross the past few years, he had that program really rolling. You want to catch JMU in, I think, September or October. By the time November comes around, it's almost like your second year. They start to get it. Now it's in Boone. So I would lean App, and I think they would lose to Georgia Southern, but I also think there is a shot that Clay Helton's not coaching and that becomes a lot more winnable then. I lean 8-4, just like Vegas says. But I'll tell you this: I'm with Vegas. I think 9-3 is more likely than 7-5. How about you?
9-3 more likely than 7-5. I kind of agree with that. I'll say between those last three games, Coastal Carolina, JMU, and Georgia Southern, they're not going 3-0 there, for damn sure. They are losing at least one, probably one. I bet they can go 2-1. It'll be a tough fought 2-1 though, for sure. So is that 8? Is that what I have at 8 wins as well?
Yeah, you got to. So what do you lean though? 9-5. We're flat on that number.
Yeah, I think I'm flat on that number. 8.
Give me the over.
But if I was going to bet, I'd take the over because, I agree with what you said. They're more likely to get 9 wins than they are to get 7 wins.
Well, and the fact that Helton's not coaching that game.
All right.
Also, if Clemson beats Georgia,
but that's a tough road schedule.
Yeah, no, that this year's road schedule is harder than last year's by far.
And one of the home wins I gave him is versus Liberty, for crying out loud, and that of course is nothing sure about.
Well, the good news is the home schedule. I don't know what to make of South Alabama. Sort of like they could be better than I think, but Old Dominion and Georgia State I don't have as bowl teams. JMU I think will probably end up being a bowl team, but it's a good home schedule. It's really. I think the question is really, what is it? 6 road games there. Can they go? Essentially, if 3-3, that's what you need for that over. Take care of business at home, and can you go 3-3 on the road for that over?
That's tough. Only because you look at their road opponents: Clemson, East Carolina, Marshall, Louisiana, Coastal Carolina, Georgia Southern.
Yeah,
I mean, on paper, you can go 0-6.
You could. It's very well possible. All of those teams I do expect to be in a bowl game, and I think that's what makes the schedule so challenging. I do have them in the Sun Belt Championship, though.
I do too.
So take the over. That is the better bet here. You won't see me betting the over, but you will see me betting plus 275 to win the Sun Belt Championship.
Yes, I like that because, like I said, they should be there. You'll have a plus 275 ticket to work with, whatever you want to do with it. Over under 8, it's not. I mean, like we said, we lean over, but there's better ways. There's better ways to spend your money to lock it up for 4 months and then over on 8. App State bet.
What's the best case scenario here?
I mean,
11-1,
10 wins, I'd say.
Yeah, 10-11, I think is what is best case scenario. What's the worst case scenario? 6-6.
Worst case is, I mean, look,
5-7, 6-6,
5-7, I'd say. For
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
All those road games, Liberty at home, right there. That's 7 losses.
Yeah, we're gonna get you out to a game, buddy.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'll come visit the new family digs up there on the hills. I'll do that.
I'll have a pipe.
Yes.
I'll be smoking out of a pipe, buddy.
I want chops, no beer, but I want big lamb chops coming down. You can strum those a bit.
Folks, make sure you, we're both on the over. Not a lock, but I do like the odds for the championship game there. Jump on that. Remember, Sunbelt, I think, is the only conference that still has divisions too. So you're not looking for the top 2 teams. You're looking for the two winners of the division.
Absolutely.
Give the Bet Detective a follow on Twitter at CJ Sullivan _. Check out the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. What do you guys got brewing up this week?
Well, we just did an episode of AFC East. I had a New England Patriot insider. I also had an exclusive interview with Liev Schreiber, the narrator of Hard Knocks. And he gave me his breakdown. He's just like he is in person on TV. He's in person. You ask him a question, and he talks about some fucking Chicago thing. And there's a whole thing like, well, the red line goes through the city of Chicago, and the red line is also where the 4th downs are. And, it's exhausting. But, we're happy to have him on there anyway. Ray Donovan, everybody.
Go check it out. Bottom Line Bombs. Ray Donovan.
Bombs.
Let's go.
Ray Donovan is on today's show.
Let's go. Go check that out. And give the Bet Detective a follow on Twitter at CJ Sullivan _. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Guess what? Doubleheader in action right now. We got the Arkansas State Red Wolves howling at the fucking moon. Next episode coming up in about 15 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. So stay put. On if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. If you're on the audio side, make sure you go check out that episode and the rest of the 134 previews we're doing. Don't forget about the Stadium Heads podcast. Myself, Michael Barker, talking obviously the history of college football and great stadiums within America. Also, check out the FCS college football experience and the college basketball experience. App State was great last year. Let's follow it up with another great season there in the mountains. And then check out the college baseball experience as well. All of those come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. So get on over there, hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're listening on the audio side, you gotta go and find all those ones separately and subscribe. Also check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. I can't wait for the season. We're almost home. Till next time, this is the college football experience, App State style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot.